Hello there and welcome back to Lawnmower 2. We are winding down the campaign. The next mission is going to be the network tower, but before then, I'd like to go over the campaign and the squads that I formed. Mostly 3 squads, basically. So this is one of those sort of overviews of the campaign, and it's the sort of game that requires a video like this, I reckon. So we're going to begin with our heavy hitters here. No, we're not actually. We're going to begin with the squad that we just took out in the previous mission. The old schoolers, they were kind of the first squad I formed with a very particular identity, I would say. So let's view the squad. Here they are. So, these guys excelled early on. The key with them is mobility. Not one person has below 15 mobility. Actually, that's not entirely true. I think Monster does, but she has an SMG. So as you see, they're mostly taking light weapons. You look at Malakov here, he's got 15. He's probably the slowest of the bunch. Carpenter himself isn't exactly speedy. It's 17 actually, so yeah. The idea is this squad is fantastic for the likes of VIP extract missions, things like that essentially. That's where they really excel. So yeah, it was led by a shinobi officer, obviously Colonel Kidi, as one would expect. She is XCOM's fearful leader, although this campaign is probably more like Khan, really. I think they share the burden. Her loadout is generally sword user. Pretty straightforward, you know, if things really go tits up, can't use a command, or maybe a command's not the best option, she might come in and actually just attack herself to get it done. So that was yeah, a standard build, really. Malakov was a very interesting one. A low aim gunner is kind of dreaded, so what I did with him was actually went down the melee route, especially since he got flesh from the AWC, which is really good. So he can run and use his sword, or use the knife, and do quite a bit of damage with it. But late game, I never really used it, not even once, I don't think, in the last at least 5 to 10 missions. I'm not sure if I really used it. Maybe once or twice for fun. We did use it once or twice for fun, but that's about it. But early game, that was fantastic, especially those early game sectoids, just run up and stab them in the neck. Pretty good. Monster's a standard flamer build, great crowd control, you know what you're getting with that. Serrano was a snapshot sharpshooter. Now, these are very unfavourable, but I think I got really good results out of him. With the exception of the first couple of missions, he was really struggling. But once I was able to get snapshot, well, yeah, no, the first time we used snapshot, he just missed all his shots, basically. They were good shots, they were open looks, but he just couldn't hit them. And he was just outside of visual range, which is exactly where you want to use a sharpshooter of this variety. However, there was one mistake I did make, and that was not getting Kubibikiri, and instead going for Hunter's Instincts. I do wish I went for Kubibikiri, as we would have been able to take down the likes of, say, that Sectopod in the last mission. You know, it's just the way to deal with big enemies. It's a very important ability, that. Definitely. Twitch is, well, he could have been a good candidate for an officer, I think, but he's basically a, yeah, flashbang, crowd control, grenadier, blue screen bombs, protector. Yeah, good aim as well, turned out. It was good, very good. And Whiskey, this was a fantastic build. So again, the high mobility, she's a low aim ranger. So instead I made her a shotgunner because her mobility is decent, you know, pretty good. Turns out she's got advanced defense there, that's pretty cool. She's even got full kit from the AWC, so I could have given her like all sorts of grenades as well. So a real utilities person is what she was. So both barrels, light them up. She's got Shredder as well, so she could take down armor. She was a very useful soldier, very a lot of intangibles, I'd say. So really suited this squad style of constantly moving. Yeah, that worked well. Fincham, I didn't build him out too well because I kept kind of changing my mind. So he's a low aim specialist. His hack was okay, although it got up quite a bit because of he was part of the Hack Plus trio that got to benefit that. And he was basically, yeah, pure hacker. But I did give him Ever Vigilant to, even though I don't have Sentinel, which you should really have these go hand in hand, if I'm being honest. But I found if I was moving, you know, I had a short timer, at least I'd have an Overwatch, though that wasn't really very useful, so probably should have gone with something else. And Barakat is your site operative. He wasn't a great site operative, but he did his best. Fuse is a lot of fun. I'm glad I went for that ability, actually. It's really useful. Great way to shred armor and potentially get rid of cover, especially late game enemies have some pretty hefty explosives. So this squad, fantastic early game, even good in the mid game, but towards the end of the game they've really struggled, but they've managed to hold their own. But they've generally just been up against extremely light resistance. And the infiltration time on them was about 7 days or something absurd like that. If we actually look at QD and her officer, see who she's worked with throughout this campaign. So she's up to Infiltrator here. Richter, 20 missions, Serrano 19, Clot 14. Goes all the way down to Barricats. This is the whole squad. I don't think they actually had any casualties to my knowledge. I think this is the only squad that didn't have any fatalities. That's pretty good, I must say. What if a lot of people want? All in all, I think she did a very good job as an officer. Alright. And now I think on to the next squad, which is the Carnivores, who have had fatalities, including one on their most recent mission. They lost their shinobi, Kuriko Ito, who I really liked Ito actually, so that was a big loss. And yeah, never mind. But this squad has some really heavy hitters, and the idea is this is the squad of all the highest aimers. They just shoot and hit every time is what their theme is, except with Guetta here, who is a medic. So he takes a very defensive role. He's got Sentinel, so he can just go in Overwatch. If you're outnumbered, he'll, you maybe heal him with one turn and then set him in Overwatch. Gets 2 shots off, especially with that plasma rifle. Gets some, what's that ability called? Rupture. Gets some Rupture going. So these are the guys that are coming out on the final mission. In terms of the network tower, it's going to be, you're not coming out again, I'm afraid. Cajun, you're just a bit crap really. You might not come out at all, to be honest, even in the final mission. An assault can be very useful though, but you've only got that weapon. Yeah, I'll decide that when the time comes. But yeah, it's going to be these 6 plus Dean and Paul from Dean's Dogs. You'll see them in a moment. But yeah, we had an officer, a grenadier officer. That worked really well, and I think going forward I would just do that every time. This worked really well. She learnt Fortify, which saved her life, I'm sure, a couple of times. Her abilities were generally defensive, although we went formidable. Kind of wish we went blue screen bombs at times, but formidable was very useful, especially since her defense is -10. So it made sense to go with that, to be fair. Let's take a look at her leadership history. She's worked with quite a few people as well. She has suffered some fatalities in the squad. You got Cannibal, you got Scott, but McDonald used to be a member of this squad, but he moved to Baker's half dozen. Probably could move him back now. Might take him out on the final mission actually. I mean, he's earned it. We've got Sammy as well, the great Sammy, who is the greatest soldier of all time. Anyone else in this squad? No, because Eamon is all the way down there, just a couple of missions, because he's a fairly recent addition. But yeah, he's just... I've just not been able to get him going, really, this campaign. Scott has been an absolute joy, I think. 90 kills. Yeah, he's been absolutely fantastic. He's got all the right ability. I was trying to see where he could get here, but standby, that would have been good, actually. Suspension we never use. Right, soldier abilities, if you please. Yeah. Kobe Bickery, definitely the right way to go. Probably should have gone serial, but I like the fact that we do high damage. We hit and we hit hard, I feel is really good. Yeah. Guetta has been a fascinating one for me to build. This has been a very new experience, and I think we've gone the right way with him. It'd be nice if we could have got him up one more rank, which we might be able to do in the network tower. In which case, either battlefield triage. What that does, boosting will for the entire squad. 10. Unit speed now must be stabilised to receive a reduced wound time. So we don't really want reduced wound time. Trauma kits. What are we getting here? Makes revive a valid ability for emergency aid. We don't have emergency aid, do we? So we probably aren't going with that either. Well, it looks like we're going to go... Yeah, we'll probably go kill zone, I think. Yeah. If we do get you up another rank. He's been a good soldier. He's got very low aim, but very high mobility. But that's kind of what he needs as a medic, as well as high health. Sammy, Alien Hunters, man. Oh my goodness. I need to get you the thingy launcher, you know, that crazy weapon. He's got the fusion axe and he's absolutely running havoc with that. We've given him a PCS speed boost so he can just run across the map and just chop up whoever the hell he wants. Tracer round so he's a bit more accurate with his gun. He's got the frost bomb as well, for some reason. Might as well hold on to that. Because we're going to give you acid grenade, probably incendiary. Really hoping to level you up, Calm, so that you could get full kit and double your grenade output. So we're going to try and do that in the final mission. Or the network tower, rather. Paul has domination. That is his specialty as a side operative. That is very useful on a long mission. You can, especially when you get overwhelmed, as we have done before, using, say, a Great Archon as your decoy is extremely useful and life-saving. And Polo has been fantastic as well. He hits like a truck, time and time again. High aim. He is absolutely phenomenal. I've given him, I think, an elite scope now. He was just using an advanced scope before, so now he's got that. It's crazy. Advanced hair trigger, probably want to give him maybe an elite autoloader, or maybe the elite autoloader actually. We're not going to be putting him in Overwatch much, so let's give him some mad ammo. Should be okay. And Aimman down here is, yeah, a shooty assault, essentially. Basic as it gets, really. So yeah, this is what's left. They've had a few fatalities. We'll go over that later. But yeah, this is kind of this is the core 6 here. I'd say they're the main ones. They're the big guns of XCOM this run. Okay, on to the next squad. Now this squad has been one of the most fascinating to develop over this campaign. Dean's Dogs, they've been one of my favourites. They've become my favourite squad actually, and I do mean that. So we've got a specialist officer, which isn't necessarily the best way to go. I think if I redid it, a tank would probably be an appropriate one for this, or alternatively, yeah, probably, or an assault. But obviously I wanted to make Dean the officer, and I wanted to make him a specialist, so that's what I did. Speaking of, his hack is incredibly high. We can actually, I think, give him a Mark III Gremlin if anyone's got that kicking about. Probably make all utility items available at some point. Does anyone have... You know, I'll come to that later. That's for another time. T3 Gremlin. So what we did here, as you see, these two have pistols, and I've been training them in pistol abilities, giving them red screen rounds, just laying waste to like a Mark II or even Mark III mech, as I have done, and then Dean will go in for the hack, and now he's got full override. Well, the plan is on the final mission, I'm probably going to take Dave out, I hate to say it, as well as Paul and Kurt over there, and we're going to try and take over a Septipod to aid us, since we don't have the best firepower and we have pretty poor armor. If we can get a Sectopod on our side, then our chances of success exponentially rise, so that would be great. Don't know if he's going to get a full override in the next mission, but we'll come to that. The tank class was interesting. Dave certainly took it as best as he could. Will to survive, hard target decoy, a free use of mimic beacon. I've not even researched mimic beacons, but having the free mimic beacon is pretty nice actually. Yeah, Dave got shot a lot, but yeah. Do you know who else got shot a lot? Tommy. The plan was to actually make him a stun gunner, and he never got beyond tech sergeant because he got injured so much. 15 missions, he probably got injured for 14 of them, I kid you not. I think for 5 of them he bled out or something absurd. Hence why we had to give him conditioning, for goodness sake. So could never really utilise him. Curtis was always about and always reliable. He's my only rocket specialist, essentially. My rocket technical, rather. He's the only one that had, say, biggest booms, javelin rockets, salvo. I was going to give him bunker buster if we ever get that far. We never did. He's been pretty good. Missed a couple of shots now and again, but who hasn't? And Paul, obviously, with null lance or the winged lance as well, is extremely useful. So he's coming out on the final mission and the network tower as well. Plus 13 psi offense. Yeah, he's a very strong psi operative. And speaking of strong, we've got Kurt Lucas here. Not the best aim ranger, but he's pretty decent. And if we can give him the appropriate equipment, the elite scope there. Can we give him no, we don't have an elite one? I'm sure I can dismantle someone else's weapons somewhere. Alright. Yeah, he's been pretty good as well. So no complaints with him. And Cristaldo he's been a biggest booms sort of guy. And he's been crowd controlling with fire, essentially. So we go to soldier abilities. Heavy ordnance, damaging grenades, gain a bonus use, so he's had like 2 fire bombs. So he's been good when it comes to crowd control. He does have blue screen bombs as well, so we can disorientate a bunch of things. And also reduce hacking as well. Again, stacking that hacking. Basically, we were stacking the hacking of this squad. So I really like how they've developed. I feel like I could send these out on any mission really, and they'd you know, yeah, we know how this squad works. You know, we take over a mech and we just use the mech. Yeah, we got good shooty here with Kurt. And the thing is, it's what Dave and Tommy can do. They can't really do much else. I guess they'll just take shots from wherever. Once we blow up some cover, we'll burn them with you. I mean, we also have Paul's ridiculous abilities, so yeah. Dean, let's take a look at his officer abilities here. View leadership history. So he's worked with Paul the most and Curtis, which is nice. Dave as well stuck around. Lucas. Now he was the last addition, I believe, to the squad, because they lost their original ranger, which was Philip J. Fry from Futurama. He died when out on a mission with the Carnivores, I believe. Or was he originally in that squad? No. I think he was in this squad, so we had to replace him with Lucas, who stepped up to the role. So yeah, those are the 3 main squads that I've used throughout this campaign, and I think this one might have been the most interesting one to develop of all of them. So now we come on to the Baker's half-dozen squad, who only really went out on 4 missions. In fact, let's take a look. Yes, they went out on 4 missions and that was it. So let's have another little look. So they had Ron Baker, who was a shinobi officer, stealth shinobi as well. And yeah, he didn't make it out of the 4th mission. Barely. Which is a shame. This squad was always ill-prepared. They only had, I think, the first mission they went out on was pretty awful. They were vastly under-equipped. Waited till I had better equipment for them, and then they did 2 good missions. They even had a flawless for one of them, which was impressive. So McDonald here originally started out with the Carnivores, but he came in to sort of be one of the strong soldiers to help out Baker. Well, with all these guys. Everyone here is a bit not amazing. You're not particularly great. Demolition, hail of bullets. Kind of went for a more sort of versatile build. Carlson is a specialist who didn't benefit from Hack Plus, so her hacking is average, I guess. Redline, he's just any old grenadier, only a sergeant, and obviously we barely started training another sniper, which is a shame because her aim is insane. So that at least would have been good. McDonald's been a very good soldier throughout the campaign. I mean, his aim's so high I've actually given him a rifle as opposed to going for the mobility route, even though he's got quick burn, incinerator. So he's a flame specialist, but he's got a good shot as well, so we can quick burn and then take a shot even. So pretty nice. Vampire, I'm not quite sure what her abilities that she was going to unlock would be. Who knows what kind of sniper operative you could have become. But yeah, this squad never quite made it because I never did enough missions, really. That was the problem. I never got Vulture either, and that was why this squad was always held back. So if I had the extra loot, I could have given them extra equipment, or I could have sold stuff to buy that equipment, whatever. Yeah, shame really, so it's my own doing. That's why I had to be limited to 3 squads. And a quick mention to Igor's Icers, who never went out on a mission, but I did use both Igor as a holo specialist, and that's what he would have been, a holo specialist officer, and Popov as just a freaking lethal sniper. His damage is insane. He's actually picked up lethal, or it could have been insane if he got that as well as lethal, which is one of his AWC abilities, so that's plus 6 damage in total. Then you add Deadeye into it, you can one-shot anything. Big mad. But yeah, this squad was going to be we sit around at the back, our stealth shinobi just spots things for us, you take shots. We had another sniper over here who did come out on 2 missions, did alright, 2 kills. Human, the Earth Lover, never used you. We've not actually used you this campaign, level. You were amazing the previous campaign, but your aim sucks this one, just never got around to using you. So this squad never materialised, but we did use these guys. We used Popov 2 missions ago, didn't we? So yeah, 7 missions, 13 kills. 5 missions, 2 kills. Again, using you for the holo targeting. So yeah, that concludes the little squad overview. Who is the MVP of the campaign? Well, I think it might have to go to Scott, I'd say. If he survives it, I think he's going to get the MVP. Potentially Polo, though, I would say. Sammy's done well, even though he came in about 20-30 missions in. It wasn't until a bit later on that he actually joined the campaign. He wasn't here from the start this time, but he's done damn well. But I feel like it might have to go to Scott, because he has hit some stupid shots, but so has Polo. It's kind of a toss-up between those two. And maybe over the final 2 missions, maybe we'll let those be the deciders as to who gets the MVP. Anyway, one last thing we'll look at is, of course, the memorial. There it is. Fallen soldier. Looks like we've lost about 12 or so. Some of these are just rookies that never actually came out at all. Oh, yeah, rookies that died on the mission, so it doesn't really count. So we'll start with Chopra, who was a guy who, I don't know, he's been in every campaign, but never used. He's just a randomly generated guy. Ice Pick, that was a sad loss. She was awesome in my very first campaign. Chris, he was the original sniper for Baker's Half Dozen. He didn't make it out of a bloody horrible mission. I could have lost the entire squad, to be honest. And Fry, he died on one of I think the first Liberation mission, actually, when we actually liberate a region. And we got Baker, 9 missions, Ainsley, 14. They both died on, Ironbreaker, another Liberation. That was really harsh. 62 kills from Neil. He was looking like the MVP, to be honest, with the campaign. He'd been fantastic. I mean, he had that classic moment where he used trench gun and killed 7 enemies. And only the officer survived, well, because he wasn't in the cone for trench gun, but yeah. And of course, Ito, who was a late addition in the previous campaign, but she was good. 21 missions, 43 kills. She almost died a bunch of times, if I recall, especially early in this campaign. So, kind of inevitable, really. I'd say, really, we did not lose many soldiers. We could have lost a lot more than that. A lot more. We've been extremely lucky. There's no doubt about that. Anyway, that looks like the end of this. Just a quick little squad overview video. How long we got left? 1 day, 15 hours. We're at the black market here. Hello. Right, I've been buying and selling stuff and whatever, but there's nothing else we can really do. There's nothing else here I really want to buy. We don't need an elite suppressor on that final mission. That seems a bit pointless. The only thing I might end up buying are these, Elerium crystals or alloys if we run out. I'm not allowed to go below 620 supplies in order to gear up my squad. So let's actually go into the squads right now. If we go view soldiers, there's probably going to be a few in these squads who have weapons they shouldn't have. Weapons or equipment that they don't need because you're not coming out on these final missions. For instance, you're done. You do not need an elite scope. You do not need an elite autoloader. Hold the stop. That's absolutely fine to me. And no, you're not. So it's not in squad. In order of squad members then. We go over here. Nothing elite, just advanced. So we're going to try and get any elite weapon bits and bobs. Strip them, and then I'll put them on my final squad, really. I don't think we have many things, though. Doesn't look like it. Yeah, no, we just have basics, so I'm not going to do this all on camera now. Pretty much just going to leave it here. Have a quick look at Baker's Half Dozen. Do we really not have a Mark III Gremlin? If we don't, then I'm going to have to go make one. I think use one of those Elerium cores to make a better Gremlin. For Dean, that's got to happen. Give him good hacking as well. But generally speaking, I don't think there's anything else I need to do. I'll take those anyway. What about you? What have you got? You've actually got nothing on your freaking weapon. Oh, that's bad. Still debating whether or not to take you out. Advanced laser sights. Advanced expanded mag. That's good. Take that. Definitely. And of course over here, you've got some basic stuff. Alright, fair enough. There ain't no Baker's Half Dozens coming out on this mission. We'll quick peruse over here. Tommy, you're definitely not coming out, so if you've got anything good, like an elite laser sight, no, not quite. Advanced expanded mag, we'll take that though. Okay. Dave, or you might be coming out. I'm basically debating whether to take Dave in the final slot, because I know it's going to be 6 members of Carnivores. Dean, Paul, Kurt, that gives us 11. We need one more. It's either going to be Dave, or it's going to be McDonald, or I'm actually considering Serrano. Having a second sniper might be good, but, you know, is he the guy to go for? That's the question. Might not be. Especially with his low health. I mean, we're really behind in armor and such, so... Let's have a quick look down here in engineering. See if we can build... I don't think it doesn't count as an item, does it, a Gremlin? Gremlin Mark III, that looks great, yes. Build one of those. Wonderful. And I'm going to worry about the weapons and stuff another time. We don't have any more Gatekeeper shells, so we can only have the one alien Psyamp. We're going to keep that with Pool, so he does more damage. As for the rest of it, I think we're just going to leave it there. We can build another Plasma Rifle, which would be amazing, as well as a Plasma Lance. That was also amazing. Can we build... We never even got around to researching the better armor, so... You know, that ain't happening. Can't build any more chitin plating, but that's alright. 10 soldiers can have that. So that is pretty good. But yeah, we're stuck with Predator armor. So, don't get hit, boys. Don't get hit. Anyway, I think I'm going to leave it there. So next time, it's Network Tower time. Let's have a quick look at it. Somewhere down here. We cannot start concealed, no squad sight, no squad dodge, and no free use of a run and gun. But we do have 34 enemies. Ooh, I see a heavy mech. I think we can take that over. Definitely. That's going to be the plan. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this. I will see you on Operation Diamond Giant.